good evening, Mr. Ellis.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you were able to come in today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Uh, Thank you for filling out this questionnaire. It actually helps to help me understand the progress you've made from last session to this one. So
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you.
So how are you feeling today?
I'm actually feeling better. I had a long week, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling better. I attended an event. It was an empowerment session. It was a lot of men. There was a lot of transparency
Mm-hmm.
in a room where a lot of men, revealed their flaws.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely was a good experience for me, and it was got a lot of wisdom, advice, and definitely was helped me have a good day today. It really was uplifting.
Okay. Very encouraging, sounds like it.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Good, 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 good. Those are always good things to attend. It kind of helps you stay focused on some things you want to accomplish, and it's always good. It's uplifting. Tell me about what happened since our last session that you are proud of.
Since our last session, I was real proud of how I handled the thought process. Every time when I have a negative at that moment, I write it down. My positive, whatever I deal with, I write it down. And it definitely was an effective strategy for me because it kept me positive. It kept me realizing that it's not me, it's just the situation, and it really helped me in a lot of different ways. So I definitely that was a good homework session that I had. So I definitely thank you for that.
Okay, okay. So tell me about what happened that you are not proud of that was kind of upsetting this past week.
This past week, it was a situation where I didn't handle adversity real well. It was a business venture. Me and my partner, we had a church event, and we were responsible for the food.
Okay.
And it was something that I was totally against. Totally didn't want to do it. I didn't think we didn't have the capacity for that amount of an event. But it's something that he has 30 years experience. It's something he wanted to do. He thought he can handle it. But what happened was it was a disaster.
Okay.
He was late. All the food wasn't there, and when he got there, he had to cook some of the food.
Okay.
So from that aspect, it was an embarrassing, it was a humiliating experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it was adversity because I didn't have any answers. And being in a leadership position, you're supposed to have answers for.
Okay.
And I just didn't handle it very well. So what happened was I was upset because the next event, the next day, it's not mandatory, but it's required for leadership to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose not to go. I stayed home because I was upset. I was humiliated and I was embarrassed. I stayed home out the thought and fear that I was going to get bombarded with questions from other leaders that was going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't know how to respond.
Okay.
And instead of just taking it head on, I kind of went in the closet.
Okay.
And I didn't handle it very well. So I was very upset. I was very upset.
Okay. Okay. So in that moment when the event was being held and your partner showed up late, how did you guys handle it from that perspective, from the time he was late until the time that the event ended?
Well, how we handled it was stay positive. Just it was just something that just kept her around board. We kept made sure the food was hot. By the food being hot, I think people was hungry, so they would just grab their plate. So that was kind of just if a person that's not in that kind of business didn't even pay attention to it.
Okay.
We didn't have enough, but we had enough of who was there.
Okay.
So everybody ate. It wasn't like nobody didn't get a plate.
Okay.
So that was a positive. That was something from a leadership point of view. We didn't frown on our face. We stayed smiling. We stayed positive. We wasn't supposed to serve it or help with that. We were supposed to just drop it off. But in in turn, we helped out and brought the food out. They needed water, we brought the water out, just trying to accommodate for our Uncle parents, for our
Okay, okay, okay. So in that moment, it sounds like you handled the situation as best as you could, even though your partner was late, even though that caused a frown upon your business, you and your partner's business. In that moment, you still handled it in a manner that was professional, that was of great leadership, and you still felt
I still felt that I was a failure.
okay.
You know, I felt that I was a failure because normally with an event like that, with time to be there, you know, what needs to go on, you're following the script, and it's like with anything, it's like you're doing your part.
Okay.
And your part wasn't, you didn't deliver on your part.
Okay.
It was an event where it was a 2-hour event. They had to be out at a certain time, but it went over
Okay.
because we was 30 minutes late.
Okay.
So that messed up their schedule.
Okay.
So in that aspect, we was, I felt like it was humiliation. It was humiliating.
Okay.
Just knowing that I was a student because it's something I'm totally new in, and it's as a business person, you always want to have experience with someone that you're new in. This person has 30 years experience, so it's like.
Is it your partner you're talking about?
Yes, my partner, he has 30 years
Okay.
experience when it comes to food.
Okay.
And 30 years experience when it comes to food, of how much you need,
Okay.
how much the prep time. Just from that aspect, he's got 30 years experience.
Okay.
So to me, it was a no-brainer. Let him lead, let him take the lead on it. You're new at it. You're thinking that if you take the lead, it's going to be a disaster. By him taking the lead, it's going to go smooth.
Okay.
But in the meantime, what happened was, we all have flaws, and his flaws were revealed.
Okay.
And at the same time, me being a student, he's a teacher. If the teacher don't know what happened, they don't have excuses and no answers, then the student's not going to have any answers. So it's like a domino effect. So and at the same time, from that experience, we had a heated argument. And with the heated argument, I was angry. So that's another reason why I didn't show up, thinking he was going to be there when
Show up.
show up at the church, the event the next day. That's what the leader.
Oh, okay. So, you were supposed to go to church again the next day.
Yes, because we're in a leadership position, and it's required. But I didn't go, and so I was embarrassed by it. I was
Okay.
embarrassed by it.
So you were embarrassed by what happened the following day.
Yes, I was embarrassed. I was humiliated what happened the following.
Okay. So your partner was upset. Sounds like it.
Yes, he was upset.
Okay. He was upset because did he know that things didn't go well?
He found excuses of why he wasn't late, but
Why he wasn't late? So he
why
wasn't.
we found excuses why he was late,
Okay.
and to me, it's no excuse. There's a situation where days in advance what time to be there, and he didn't deliver. By him not delivering, it's not just on him, it's on me, because we're partners. And it was just the whole event was a disaster. I think it was a disaster because he was late. He had to cook food. All the food wasn't there. People that was there, they had food for them to eat, but everybody didn't show up. So if everybody would have showed up, we wouldn't have had enough.
Okay.
And that's what made it a disaster to me. But I was upsetting because it was an adversity that I normally handle. It just, for that particular one, I just didn't handle that well.
What is it that you didn't handle?
I didn't handle the anticipation of answering questions.
Okay.
And just,
answering questions the day of the event when it was a
Answering
disaster?
questions the day of the event and answering.
So you didn't answer any questions that day?
Asked a couple, but I knew that all the leaders wasn't there. So I knew the next day at church all the leaders would be there. So I anticipated having a lot of questions that I know I wouldn't have the answer to. So instead of taking on it head on, I avoided it. And by me avoiding it, I stayed home. And I shouldn't. So by me staying home, it lingered.
Okay.
And it was just a situation that it was regrettable that I didn't handle it well. I definitely did my homework session. I wrote down what my negative thought at that moment, what my action should be, what my positive thoughts. So that pondered in my head, but it was something that I was just, because I was embarrassed and humiliated, I just didn't go.
Okay.
And it was wrong. It was.
Okay. So you were feeling in that moment, I mean, the next day, not the day of the event, but the next day.
Yes.
You were feeling that sense of humiliation and embarrassment.
Yes, I was.
Okay. So what does all that mean about you? What does your partner showing up late, your business looking not so great because you guys showed up late for the event, you didn't have all of the food, you weren't prepared, you just simply didn't look prepared, or you weren't prepared. What does that mean about you? What does that say about you?
Well, at that time, what it said about me was that that was my name on that business. So it's like it's two of us, we're partners. So if he's messing up, then I'm messing up.
Okay.
So it just it looked like, even though that was his flaw, it looked like that was my flaw as well. And knowing that it's not, but we're in a partnership, and it's something that you was against because I felt we couldn't handle it. We weren't ready. But you're listening to the person that have expertise saying that we can handle this, but we can't. It made it very upsetting. And when you saw that, it was a disaster because it's a business venture where we're not established yet. We're still, so to speak, growing, and still at the same time we're learning each other. So flaws are revealed, and you're learning how to handle the flaws.
Okay.
So as far as as it says about me, it made me feel as though that was my flaw as well, and it's not.
Okay. Okay. So you just said that's not your flaw.
It's not.
So what's not your flaw?
Oh, it's not my flaws. I'm a person that like to be on time, so it's definitely something. It's not a issue with me. I like to be on time, especially when it comes to an event. I believe in planning. I believe in following the script. You're supposed to be at a certain time. You get at a certain time. You're definitely supposed to do your part. And our part, when your part is not being delivered, you're hard on yourself. Where it's that if that event is a disaster, you're the main culprit why it's a disaster. Because if everybody else doing your part, and you're not doing your part, then it's a complete disaster. And that's how I was feeling.
So you felt like a disaster.
At that time, I felt like a disaster. I really did.
And that trickled over into the next day.
It trickled over into the next day because I didn't handle that. I anticipated adversity and questions coming my way, but I didn't want to answer them. I wanted to avoid them. So by me avoiding them, it linked to the next day where I stayed at home, stayed in the closet. I just didn't want to be bothered. But knowing I should have went and just addressed the question. Because what happened was, it lingered to another day, then the following day, when you're finally talking, about it. So it's like 2 days that went where it could have been addressed the following day.
Okay. So you gathered that as far as I should have addressed it, that was a couple days down the line.
That's right.
Okay. But you still felt during that time, like you said, it was a disaster and that you guys didn't do a good job. Although you feel like it wasn't your fault. You more feel like it was your partner's fault.
Right.
But you still know it was a reflection on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you how do you deal with that? And when you get in situations where um, it's not your fault, but you feel like it's your fault, how do you deal with that?
It takes me some time, but I sit back and I just think about the whole situation, and I just remind myself, well, well, I did it right. I did it right, and normally that's my adversity. I know what I did. I did what I was supposed to do, but it's just this one I did. I
You
felt
didn't what?
I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I felt that I should have was more involved. I should have been more involved. I should have stepped up more as the lead. I think it was a situation where you can't rely too heavily on a person. You still have your part to do. It definitely was a mistake on my end, but I think it was just an experience, and that's normally how I deal with it. It's just that I pretty much I take on it head on, and I address it head on because I know the quicker you handle it, the quicker it's over with, you can move on to the next day.
Right, right. Okay. So how are things now?
Things are a whole lot better. It's a whole lot better. Definitely.
So you and your partner have reconciled?
Yes, we have reconciled. We have reconciled. We definitely had some agreement on some things. If it's all to go forward, we gotta had to put some stuff in place. So I definitely think it was a good experience for both of us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So tell me about, is there anything you would like to address today?
One of the things is just effective ways to handle adversity. What other effective ways to handle adversity? I'm pretty sure and I have my way, but I'm pretty sure that there are other ways you can handle adversity.
Let's go back to the situation with your partner, the day that you guys had the event. What was he feeling when he didn't show up on time, when the food wasn't prepared, when things weren't going so great? What's he feeling?
Well, he was upset, but I don't think he was upset at our request. I think he was just like, it's here. I think he had a lot of excuses why he was late, but it was something that was no excuse. It was just no excuse. I mean, he didn't deliver. He was late. They contacted you. You was well aware of what time to be there. You just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he looked at it where it's like was no big deal. I think from that aspect, it's something that he's accustomed, just showing up late. You look at it where like he's there. He didn't stand you up. So like, I think sometimes when people are in their years of experience, they're just accustomed to it, and nobody not really confronting them about it. I think it can be upsetting. They can look at you as like, I've been in this for so many years. It's no big deal, but it is.